Hello, everyone, and welcome back to MercyReacts. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and your thoughts on the Saiki, I hope I'm saying that right, documentary. That was really fun to learn more about her and seeing how different ways she resonated with myself. That was really fun. So next I was told to check out Kanami's documentary, so I'm looking forward to this. If you'd like to see my reaction to Saiki's, it's in the description down below alongside the original video that we're looking at today.
Welcome to Kanagawa Prefecture in the Tokyo area, a mixture of heavily urbanized areas, farmlands, and mountains, punctuated by the tourist destinations of Kamakura, Enoshima, and Hakone. Its capital, Yokohama, is the second biggest city in Japan and a port city, well known all over the world. Kanami was born in this prefecture near Yokohama on September 28th. Being the youngest child of her family with an older brother and sister. As both of her siblings were already learning piano, Kanami's mother asked her to learn piano as well, but she also liked to borrow and play with her brother's airsoft gun.
I'm sorry, I just thought that was a really funny transition. Like, she loved piano, but also liked to play with some airsoft guns. Piano's really good to learn, to be honest with you. But it's going to be interesting to see all the different backgrounds of these ladies.
Her parents wanted Kanami to try various activities like ballet, calligraphy, and English, to name a few. Over the years, Kanami continued to learn piano as she has a natural talent for it and really loves playing. A passion that she shared multiple times on social media. Kanami confessed that from her childhood to her junior high school years, she only listened to classical music and was very influenced by Chopin.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. I'm highly influenced by classical music. It's so beautiful. But I was always thinking that she must have had some sort of background with it, because you could just sense and just how she is and everything. So that's really cool.
Kanami plays piano for the introduction of the song Start Over. She also performed the introduction of Daydreaming on piano live multiple times. In her interviews, Kanami describes herself as tenin in Japanese, which is translated as natural funny man. Tenin literally means nature or natural. The word has been
That's very fitting, I would think. Don't you guys think so?
shortened from tenin bokeh. In Japan, there is a traditional comedy act known as manzai, where the humor comes from the interaction between a straight man and a funny man, not unlike the double act comedy in the West with Laurel and Hardy, for example, or Abbott and Costello. The funny man being the comic character as opposed to the straight man in this comedy duo.
メンバークイズ出題してくれるのは誰だっぽ？あいよみーちゃんまたからみどうぞじゃあみーちゃんクイズ教えてっぽ。
はい、私の野望についてです。一つがさいちゃんと結婚すること、そしてもう一つは何でしょうか？
ってさらっと野望がね、さいちゃんと結婚することってさらっと言ったっぽね。
さて、
さあ、みんちょのマイブームは何ですかっぽ？
はい、ミンチョのマイブームは、ミサにしか見れん、ミサしか見れん。
Oh my goodness. Okay, so this fits. This fits from what I get, like even from her stage presence, from the stuff that I've seen of them. You know, she always came off as the more silly, goofy one, and you know what? Honestly, it's like so natural to her that it's not forced, and I think that's what makes it really great.
ないインスタのアカウントをやってるんですけど、自分がミサ限定なの。ミサしか見れないから、フォロワーもミサしかいない。なんで、それでご飯を作ったら、そこに載せて、で、偉いって書いたりしたら、ミサが偉いねってコメント。LINE でやれ。
どうしてインスタに作ったっぽ？
こうやってね、ご飯作ったら並んでいくじゃん。でそれでちゃんと手料理を作るっていうモチベーションを上げるためにやっております。素敵なマイブームだね。ありがとう。
なんでミサ一人なんだぽ？ミサが先生なの？
ミサはね、偉いねって褒めてくれる。
褒めてくれるからミサは偉い。絶対ミサちゃんだったらいいねってしてくれるからってこと？はいはい。でそれをさいちゃんには見せないと？
見てくれる？
あ、やっぱミサだけだ。じゃあミサちゃんこれからも
I love how they're just like, we really kind of don't want to see your food.
頑張ってください。
全員いいねしてるから。
全員いいね。
ありがとう。
In Kanami's case, her funny talk is not deliberate, but natural. It's like that friend you have who is smart, but naturally strange in a funny way, if that makes sense.
Makes
あ
complete
りがとう
sense.
ございました。
面接じゃないんですよ。本当に。
Saiki and Miku talked about Kanami during an episode of the radio show Bandmaid Nippon.
まずはじゃあギターのかなみちゃん。
はい。
かなみちゃんもねちょっととても不思議な感じなんですよ。なんだろう、小鳩が多分一番バンドメイドでやばいって、
思われ
てるんですけど、かなみちゃんもなかなかだと小鳩思うぽ。
それは同感です。
ね、同感でしょぽ。
なんかね、かなみちゃんはあれなんだよね。二面性があるっていう
そうだぽね。
言い方していいの？
なんか普段は本当にふわふわしてて、すごくなんだろう、ほんわかしたね、お嬢様みたいな、
お姫様みたい。
あ、そうだっぱね。
おとぎの国のお姫様みたいな。
So, like, she's like the goofy, girly one of the rest of them. Like, I think that's perfect. That's really fun to know now too. So again, when I look and react to stuff that I see, seeing their personalities shine through, it's kind of cool how much I've kind of picked up on and what I didn't. But it's always great to have a friend like that who's like naturally the weird one like that. For some people in my friend groups, I'm that person, and then I also have friends that are more bizarre than me and more like her, so you know, it's really great. It's really great to see the weird kids out here doing amazing things.
眠ってそう。
あ、そう、眠り姫っぽい。
なん
かおしとやかなお姫様って感じなんですけど、
なんか小鳥たちとかと遊んでそうなイメージだった。森の中で。
There was also a moment during the US tour in 2022 where Kanami introduced herself for the second time when the crowd was calling her name.
Kind of looked like she was like in her own little world, and she's like, "Oh crap, there's people trying to talk to me. Oh yeah, I'm me." That's really nice, and it's kind of sweet. She seems like a real sweetheart, though.
In senior high school, Kanami joined a popular music club as a keyboardist, but started to learn guitar a few months later after watching a senior classmate play. Kanami wanted to play guitar to look cool in the eyes of the other girls. And it worked.
ギターを弾いてるかなみ先輩ってかっこいいよねって言ってもらえるようになって、それが気持ちよくてずっとギターを弾いてました。
This is the beginning of Kanami's journey as a guitarist. She started to learn the basics by herself without any knowledge or even a band to practice with. At one point, a third-year senior who taught her guitar asked Kanami to join his band composed of classmates. The members gave Kanami songs to learn from bands like Kiss, Metallica, and Deep Purple. But the first song...
We all know how I feel about Kiss, guys. But the other two I could understand taking inspiration from, you know, because, I mean, even though I'm not a big Metallica fan, I can understand they have their place, and so does Deep Purple. Kiss, I will never understand my bros. I will never understand my potatoes.
She had to learn was However by Glay. As she was covering more and more songs from Western hard rock bands, Kanami had so much fun that she decided to create her own one-person band, filling all the roles herself. Kanami was not really into the idea of joining as...
Whoa. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, man, to do everything yourself like that. Props to her.
...a band, as it's difficult to find one where all the members have the same level of motivation and the same ambitions. This is why Kanami started to learn programming and write her own songs so she wouldn't have to rely on a band.
Smart. That is very smart, because she's 110% correct. It is super hard to find people on the same motivational level. I mean, my brother is a drummer, and he's gone through about 3. I think he's steady with 1. But he's gone through 3 simply because they lack motivation. My brother is very dedicated in his craft and very, very particular about where he spends his time, and rightfully so. So, you know, it gets hectic. So this is very, very smart of her to do. But also, again, what makes the maids very unique, because it seems like they have the same level of motivation and they're always encouraging each other to do better. So this is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for like all these girls, because that is something that's super rare. Super, super rare.
Kanami wanted to enroll in a university of music, but she finally followed her parents' wishes and went to a regular university, where she studied economics and management to learn how to promote herself as a professional musician.
Smart.
Even though she was still a student, Kanami worked hard to polish her skills and find her way through the music industry. She built a soundproof room and took singing lessons, even though she didn't really like to sing. Kanami also posted a lot of covers on YouTube and Nico Nico, until one day, someone finally contacted her. Kanami's hard work paid off as she was contacted to join a female rock band.
Mincho 最初に見つけて、ね、で見つけてもらって声かけてもらって、どこで見つけるの？ネットで動画をやっぱ弾いてみたみたいな上げてて、そこからで私がもともとはシンガーソングライターを弾き語りでこう歌いますみたいな。
I do have to say, noticing like the interviews that they have in their country, how much different it is than the in-your-face interviews, either from Europe, but especially the United States. Here where I'm at, they usually don't give the artist too much time to talk, because the interviewer is mainly doing it kind of for like a clout thing that it feels like over here. But these are kind of relaxing to watch because there's a question and there's an answer, and it's not like, oh my gosh, look, I'm interviewing, blah, blah, blah. It's more of like a respect thing, which I think needs to be all around, you know, because we got to remember our favorite artists are people. They're working hard at their craft and they deserve some respect. Yes, even the ones that act wonky for their image. You know, so this is kind of refreshing and something that I'm noticing the cultural differences, because I'm not saying like every interview that I've seen over here is disrespectful, because it's gotten more like laid back and cool kind of like this thanks to like podcasting and the internet. But there's a lot of older interviews that I watched of my favorite bands, and you could kind of tell the bias of the person interviewing them. If it was somebody that did not like their music, they would let that bias show through in how they treated the musician, versus if somebody was a fan, they would kind of let their fangirling or fanboying take precedent over doing their job as an interviewer. So I do enjoy the fact that the interviews we're seeing here are really professional and allowing us to learn more about the bands.
She met with the management, who explained the concept and played songs made for the band. For the maid outfits, Kanami had already performed in one during a school culture festival, so it was not a problem for her, as she really liked the concept. As for the songs, she found that they were cool, so she immediately said yes. Plus, she always wanted to be a lead guitarist and work with a female lead singer without having to sing.
Win-win
From this
here,
moment,
huh?
Kanami was the first member to join Bandmaid.
You definitely hear like the 80s metal sound in her guitar playing right there from the USA side. I don't know how it sounded in Japan, of course. Mr. Scrunch is making noises in his sleep. But it makes sense now that she was influenced by a lot of things. So.
At the beginning, the songs performed by Bandmaid were sent by external songwriters and selected by the members. After listening to the A-side of Bandmaid's first single called Ai to Jonetsu no Matadoru, we can imagine that Kanami mentioned her love for Santana, a famous Mexican guitarist, singer, and songwriter.
Makes sense. I mean, who doesn't like a good Santana song sometimes? You know, it's really cool, it's calm, it's like chill vibes. But it makes sense. I was just about to say, the documentary interrupted me. I was about to say it reminded me of Santana.
She found Santana thanks to her father's vinyl collection, as he listened mostly to rock from the 70s and the 80s.
As we all do. I can't tell you how many times I have found rock and metal from my parents' record collection.
Kanami was still a novice in songwriting, but she continued to submit her songs anyway. Although it was really hard for her to keep writing all those songs that were never approved. Thankfully, Kanami had the support of Saiki, who encouraged her to continue to write more and more. While performing the songs provided by the songwriters, Kanami kept on learning and improving until her determination was finally rewarded when, 2 years after their formation, the first ever song written and arranged by Bandmaid was released.
that makes a lot of sense that this is the first one because like they seem so much more like confident and there. I mean, it has to be difficult playing songs that are sent to you. Like, while it's good for like experience and stuff, but like if you're not like attached to it in some way, at least for me, I'm going by my personal experience. It's kind of hard to just like put it out there for the sake of putting it out there. But like in this song, I remember reacting to this one. Like you could just see how into it they all are. I'm not sure about the other stuff. I've never seen their older stuff. But this seems like they're like way more like, yes, it's finally time to rock with our music sort of thing. And it's like that attitude is like shining through the way that they're doing this.
Kanami is the kind of person who has to compose all the time. She loves to create new songs and takes requests from the other members when they have an idea. It's even easier for Kanami this way as she doesn't have to start from scratch. When she does, Kanami uses a riff or a melody, writes around it, and sends each part to each member, starting with Misa. There are not a lot of directions for Misa to follow except when Kanami wants her to slap or stand out during a specific part of the song. Misa, being a very fast worker, gets her response to Kanami quickly, which means then Kanami can start programming the drums.
Why do I have a hunch that Kanami and Misa are like this, and that Misa's like the quiet one of the whole group? Like, yeah, sure, like Saiki is shy and stuff, but I feel like Misa's just in her own world, like, okay, I gotta play, okay, here we go. And it always rocks all the time. Like, it comes so natural to her. I can't wait to do hers. Nothing against Kanami. I love each and every one of these docs. I'm just really big on bass. But it makes sense that these two can work together so well. And I didn't really know that Kanami does so much of their composing and everything like that.
Akane. At first, Kanami received a lot of feedback from Akane about the drums being impossible or requiring 5 arms, but with time, she improved her programming and wrote difficult but playable drums with the help of Akane. Let's take Black Hole, for example.
でもあそこは最初もっと難しかったんです。これは無理って言われて代わりに出してもらった別パターンを採用してます。辛口とか地獄とか名付けられたパターンも送ってもらったんですけど、確か地獄っていうパターンになったんだと思います。
Kanami wanted Black Hole to be the fastest song possible, but also chaotic, which makes it even harder for Akane.
I actually don't think I've ever listened to Black Hole.
Akane's drums locked in, Kanami can add the guitars and work with Saiki on the lead vocals.
I am not
the
winning
first
on
demo of
my
a song
face.
is actually recorded on a piano by Kanami with her voice as the demo for the vocals, so the song might change completely when Saiki's voice is added. A part of this process was featured in the Bandmaid US Tour 2022 documentary, where we can see Kanami presenting her idea for Memorable to Saiki.
La 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 la. La 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 la.
For backing vocals, Kanami proposes some of them, Miku and Saiki also propose some others, and finally, their vocal director sometimes gives advice during the recording sessions. The rhythm guitar is something Kanami adds at the end of her writing process. When Miku has to sing, her part is, of course, simplified, but Kanami doesn't think much about this when composing. Talking about Miku, Kanami's way of writing is totally different when she writes a song for Miku, like Sayanakadori. Even though Kanami adopts her writing to Miku's voice, she wants Miku to grow as a singer, so she is always trying to challenge her.
この最後は変えてほしいって小鳩に言われたので、ちょっと成長の意味も込めて変えたら、最初高くて出るかわかんないって言われちゃって、頑張れって。
Kanami has had a lot of different guitars over the years. She has used a Flying V, a Les Paul, and Strat-style guitars. Her first collaboration was with a Dictone, when Kanami was officially endorsed by the brand on May 21st, 2016. Kanami even had her own signature model, the Dictone Modern Series 2.8 Signature, in 2 colors, red and green. But there is one brand that we are used to seeing Kanami with for a few years now. Paul Reed Smith Guitars, or PRS. At the beginning of 2017, Kanami switched from a Dictone to PRS, which was not leaving her previous endorser in good terms with Bandmaid's management, who was accused of forcing Kanami to switch to PRS guitars. For the release of their first major album called Just Bring It, Bandmaid recorded the music video of Don't You Tell Me, where we can see Kanami playing with a brand new PRS 408 Fire Red Burst, borrowed from a guitarist amongst Bandmaid staff. One thing for sure, Kanami fell in love with PRS guitars.
もうファーストタッチで、うわ、弾きやすい、手に吸い付くってなって、で、音的にも特徴的なサウンドじゃないですか。私は特徴が欲しかったんですよね、バンドメイドに。ただ PRS ってしっかり弾かないとちゃんと鳴らないギターなので、今でも結構苦戦してるところがあるんですけど、でもこの PRS を使いこなせるようになったら、きっとどのギターでも使いこなせると思ったので、PRS にしました。これだとなりました。直感だったと思います。音も弾き心地もこれがいい。でもしっかり弾かないと音が鳴らないみたいな。難しいけど、でもこれっていう感じでした。
Mincho comes from her username from the time she posted videos online, which was Kana Mincho. Incho is a suffix to give a cute feel to a name that usually ended with a vowel I. This is how Kanami chose the nickname Kana Mincho, then shortened into Mincho. It has been mentioned multiple times by the members that Kanami has a switch when she is playing guitar.
ライブお給仕の時にギターを持ってこうお給仕に臨むと、なんだかこう人格が変わるというか、少しオラオラ系になるみたいで、
急に変わって、すごいこうやってきました。
マジで？
このKanamiがギター持って。
I can actually understand that though, because like getting into the zone of like performing or something, it is like a switch. You get in the zone and you just let it take over. So I completely understand why they say that.
こうやってやってきますから。
急に小鳩のマイク奪ってちょっと話したりとかする時とかもあって、小鳩メンバーたちもすごいびっくりしちゃうみたいな時があります。
身内もびっくりするぐらいなんだ。
でも打ち合わせとか全くなしで、い
つ出てくるかもわからないんで、その時はなんかトランス状態みたいな感じっぽくて、私何やってたっていうのがあって、今日はねシンバルをかかと落とししてたみたいな。
This moment can be seen when the camera is on Kanami right after a short pose. Kanami enters in Mincho mode to focus on her music. Sometimes, Mincho becomes out of control.
Alright, guys, sorry about that. I had to feed Mr. Scrunch real quick. So, we left off where they were talking about how her personality of Mincho comes out and she gets really aggressive, and it's like the music takes over and she gets possessed.
Show mode to focus on her music. Sometimes, Mincho becomes out of control, and it looks like this.
ミンチョはじゃあ最初にサイちゃんに会った時の印象、ミンチョは
記憶あるとこからでいいよ。
記憶あるところから
いや記憶ないかもしれないからと
記憶があるところだとぶっちゃけるとあっちゃんが最初にサイちゃんサイちゃんのことを先にあーちゃんが会ってたから、多分かなみは嫌いなタイプの人だと思うって言われてた。
あったね。
結構それ言ってたもんね最初。
そうだからすごいビクビクしながら会ってあこの人かみたいな。でも話したらあれ普通に話せるってなってどっちだってなって。
Since Kanami met with Saiki, she can't stop showing how much she loves and admires her. It started with the first music video of Don't You Tell Me, where the personality of each member is highlighted for the first time. Since then, she's always showing her support to Saiki during live performances.
私はすごくボーカルの最近のことが大好きなので、はい、一緒にアコースティックでこうできていいんだよ、そんなこと言わなくて。
It's so cute!
素敵でしょ。
素敵
はい。
素敵です。
素敵です。
さいちゃんとっても素敵です。ありがとう。
It's been something used by the members for years during MCs. Sometimes, those moments are very sweet. And sometimes, it gives us a memorable moment.
Kanami is Japanese hentai.
Oh my god.
Saiki also likes to play this card with Kanami during songs for some funny stage interactions. One thing for sure, with these two on stage, you can expect a lot of emotions coming through their performance as they adore those special moments with just the two of them.
僕たちはきっと形にとらわれてばかりで言葉を探し迷うよりも今はただ抱きしめてもう一度だけ願うほどなんてこんなどうにもで
Music has been a part of Kanami's life since her childhood, and even if her passion for the guitar started late, Kanami worked hard to master the instrument, songwriting, and song production. Since that moment, every decision she made helped shape the passionate guitarist that we know today. Always impressive when she's on stage with her ability to convey emotions through her guitar, Kanami has moved a lot of fans over the years. From a try-it-all to a do-it-all, Kanami always had the ambitions to break through the music industry. And by joining Bandmaid, she was able to improve her play, learn from professional songwriters, and pursue her dream. Thanks to her bandmate support, Kanami continued to write song after song until they were approved by the management. And since 2016, she is the genius who writes Bandmaid's music. Improving and evolving song after song, exploring new territories, challenging her bandmates and herself by making songs that sound good instead of being just easy to play.
でもとにかく音楽には一生関わっていたいなっていうメンバーたちなんですよ、一人一人が。だからそれこそこれから10年後にどうなっているかは正直わからないし、5年後だって見当もつかないんですけど、音楽では絶対つながっていたいって思うメンバーたちですね。もうこのバンド、このメンバーが大好きすぎて、このメンバーと離れるのが絶対嫌だって思うんです。この先も少し立ち止まるような時が来るかもしれないですけど、このメンバーたちに囲まれているからこそ自分は続けられているというか、続けることを目的に続けてきたわけじゃなくて、本当に気づいたら続けられていたっていう感じで入れているのは今のメンバーだからなんだなって思います。
Kanami's path has never been an easy one, but she managed to keep moving forward, destroying every obstacle in her way. Even when she is tired to the point of where she can't barely stand, Kanami will always give everything on stage with the biggest smile. She is a mixture of passion, energy, and joy, who is and always will be full of surprises. Kanami, the genius composer.
Well, my friends, I do have to say I did enjoy this one as well. I think they're all put together really well, and learning more about how to actually pronounce their names is really great. Her story is really baffling, and I hope that she doesn't get burnout. It's quite easily to do in her position with constantly learning and constantly composing and constantly doing. But I do think she has a great support system in her bandmates, and it seems like they're all doing something they love. So burnout won't be too easy to come by, like when you love doing something. you could still get burned out, but not as quickly as when you're doing something you don't like. So it's a good thing that they're doing something they love. I was not expecting a lot that was in here though, so it's really cool to learn more about her. A lot of times when people comment on my reactions to Bandmaid, they're talking about Saiki or Miku, and so this is really nice for me to learn more about Kanami. Now I do get flack because I accidentally pause before a Kanami solo or during it, and I do apologize. I naturally focus on rhythm, so drums, bass, vocals, and stuff like that, versus guitar, and I don't do it intentionally, but I found out how to, like, rewind a few seconds on my keyboard thanks to 80. I never knew it was the J key for some reason. I don't know. But thank you for that. So now I can, if I do accidentally pause, I can go ahead a few seconds and then restart and then truly appreciate her solos more. So, I'm just inspired by her story as well, like much like Seiki's, they each have like their own things that they're going for or growing from, but hers seems to be more demanding though, right? Having to compose and making sure that all their songs are well and but she seems to take it on naturally though as well. So this was very fun. And I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. A big shout out to the patrons, 80 and Dark Mage 4, and all of the coffee donations. Thank you guys so much for donating to the channel. And as always, you can help this channel out for free by liking, commenting, sharing, and all that good stuff. Let me know in the comments down below, is Kanami one of your favorites? Are you inspired by her story? Do you like her guitar playing? What other influences do you hear in her guitar playing? Is there anything that I should be paying attention to her playing specifically the next time I react to Bandmaid? I kind of feel sad that like I didn't know about these documentaries before I reacted to Bandmaid, but I think what I could do is after I do these, I could probably like go over some songs that I've already heard at a more deeper level after understanding the band's dynamic more. It's definitely helping me pay more attention to each one individually. So I think going through these documentaries are definitely going to help me become a better reactor to their music. So thank you guys so much again. Thank you, Polska Bob, for giving me this homework. And all links are in the description if you are curious. Thank you for spending some time with me today and being the weird kid grown weird adult on this channel. We talk about music and movies over here. Also, on Patreon, you can join for free on October 4th at 9 a.m. Eastern. I will be reacting to their 10-year anniversary show. 80 highly recommended it to me, so we thought we would put it over on Patreon just because it's a little bit easier for me to put my longer streams over there. So if you want to join for free and hang out with me, that's Saturday, October 4th at 9 a.m. Eastern. Hope to see you guys there. As always, thank you for sharing your knowledge with me, and I absolutely love learning about music, even if it's outside of what I usually listen to, and they are definitely outside of what I'm used to listening to. So I'm really glad that I've been exposed to them. You guys have a great one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.